In my last video, I talked about addressing religious-based LGBTI discrimination in Canada, but there's still a lot of work to be done internationally, which I will address in this video. I'm Reverend Dr. Brent. I was a senior pastor, and now I'm the executive director of Rainbow Faith and Freedom. International activists have consistently said that religious-based homophobia and religious-based transphobia, i.e. religious-based discrimination, are the main obstacles to LGBTI human rights and inclusion. This is true in most parts of the world except for a part of Africa where homophobia and transphobia are more based on cultural values than religious values. For decades, the LGBTI human rights movement has been satisfied with fighting religious-based discrimination, and that's because we have often won. However, with the rise of fundamentalism of all faiths, we are now losing ground, and therefore we need to develop a new strategy. The result of this struggle has meant that LGBTI people were forced to choose between their sexual and/or gender identity and their religious faith. Being forced to make that damaging choice really harms LGBTI individuals on many levels, including spiritual level and emotional level. Rainbow Faith and Freedom was established to partner with activists on the ground in various countries in order to develop long-term strategies for changing hearts and minds so that families and local faith communities are safer for LGBTI people. This would result in LGBT people not being kicked out of their homes or their faith communities. International organizations working on behalf of LGBTI people were consulted and enthusiastically supported the vision of Rainbow Faith and Freedom. A symposium following the Parliament of World Religions in 2018 brought together 25 activists from around the world to take a look at the concept of Rainbow Faith and Freedom, to offer us feedback so that we could refine the vision of Rainbow Faith and Freedom. And various consultations were held with people working in the field of LGBTI human rights and/or international work. Our international pillar involves partnering with organizations, institutions, and communities in selected nations to help them to ensure that their communities are inclusive and affirming of LGBTQ2S+ individuals. This program will engage activist organizations at home and abroad to achieve the goal of full inclusion in anti-colonial, anti-racist, and equitable strategies. The international program will be a 20-year strategic plan for programming for selected nations to achieve the vision of Rainbow Faith and Freedom. This will result in measurable decline in the rates of religious-based LGBTQ2S+ discrimination. To start, we will pilot this initiative in 2 countries with a focus on finding LGBTQ2S+ organizations to partner with in a participatory way. We will establish, with the help of our international partners, our criteria for establishing the countries we will work with. Countries were selected with input from international organizations, and RFF reached out to key LGBTI organizations in those countries to see if a partnership is of interest to those organizations. We will establish baseline metrics, including a survey of cultural attitudes, to ascertain the opposition and the support for LGBTI inclusion. Rainbow Faith and Freedom and the local partner will collaboratively develop a long-term 20-year strategy to reduce the amount of religious-based discrimination. This strategy will be context-specific, and the wisdom of local activists and local communities will drive the development of the strategies. Assessment tools will be developed to ascertain the effectiveness of individual strategies. This will help us, along with the communities we are engaged with, to determine what works and what doesn't work. Staff will be hired in selected countries to implement the strategies. Rainbow Faith and Freedom will be acquiring grants from governments, foundations, and donations from individuals to financially support this work. An international team will review the strategies employed in different countries to determine best practices and what strategies are transferable, maybe to other countries. Additional countries will be selected as funds are available and as a growing base of knowledge around how to change hearts and minds is established. In addition, Rainbow Faith and Freedom will develop a mechanism for convening and supporting individual activists doing this work outside of the selected countries, and a mechanism for convening and supporting allies who want to support this work. Internationally, we form partnerships with the Global Interfaith Network for people of all sexes, sexual orientations, gender identities, and expressions out of South Africa, the Global Justice Institute out of New York. We became a member of the Commonwealth Equality Network and are continuing to develop relationships with the International Lesbian and Gay, Bisexual and Transgender and Intersex Association in Geneva, Outright Action International in New York, and they've been in partnership with the EGAL Canada Human Rights Trust. Through participating in various online conferences and webinars, Rainbow Faith and Freedom is gaining a profile around the world, and we are enthusiastically welcomed as an important part of the global effort. This is about changing hearts and minds, a bottom-up approach, rather than a top-down approach like legislative change, which is important, or like changing a denomination's policy, which is important. We are starting with 1 or 2 countries, and will eventually work our way up to 5. With the countries we have chosen to work with, we're looking for the diaspora in Canada, people from those countries living in Canada, to educate us about their countries and to help us with fundraising. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you click on the little bell button beside the subscribe button, then you'll get a notice whenever we post a new video. Thank you.